Greetings, it's Adam with Arcade Galactic, and I am super elated to say that Toobin is back in action. Nothing is more frustrating than getting a game and literally within 24 hours, the next day, the monitor died on it. And unfortunately, this is what they call a medium resolution monitor, which is not as common to find or get parts for in the arcade business. And so it's why it took a while for me to find somebody who could fix this. I tried fixing it myself first, but it didn't work. But fortunately, I sent it to Paul400 on the KLOV forums, klov.com, and he was able to get it repaired, and we just finally got it back in our possession, so you can now enjoy this game. And if you're not familiar with it, it was released back in 1988, designed by Atari Games, particularly Dennis Harper. And what makes this particular cabinet that we have here different, I mean, other than a unique shape, I know the lighting's bad here, but you can see a game right next to it that was also produced by Atari Games. The game itself was done by Namco, but that's Assault. But when if you came here in person and saw these two next to each other, you'd see how close in a design they are. But this game was designed and programmed by Dennis Harper. Now, right here, this is the door to the back of the game. We purchased this game straight from Mr. Harper. I was discussing some other things with him about Atari history, and he brought up, hey, I have this, I mean, we started talking about stuff he'd done at Atari Games like Toobin and Hydra, and he said, hey, I have a Toobin that I got after I finished the game, as well as a prototype of Hydra. Do you want them? And while I wasn't really in the market for getting some older games, I went ahead and said yes. And he was kind enough to sign the back of the game there. And also, if we take a look around, I'm going to remove the camera off of my tripod here. Yeah, there we go. Serial number 2. So this was number 2 off of the line. And so one of the things that some arcade manufacturing companies do is give the game to the person who created them. And so I know Midway did that as well, and so that the person who designed it has it. But it had been sitting in his garage for these various decades, and he didn't really have use for it anymore, and so wanted to see it go to an arcade. So that's why I jumped on this, as well as Hydra. You can find a video for Hydra on the channel as well. That this is a very unique game. I'm going to start playing it, and then that way you can see for yourself just how unique it is. I mean, you could tell there from just watching that video, but let me coin it up and we'll go from there. Well, first, let me describe the controls here, as it is a little unusual. So as you are paddling here, well, what you have control over is paddling the side of the tube. And so you have your back and forward paddle for both left and right, and then throwing cans. And as the instructions here say, you avoid sharp objects and dangerous enemies, you collect treasure for score, patches for extra lives, cans to throw at obstacles and enemies, pass between gate posts to score points and repel the big gator, swish the gates to increase your score multiplier, and find and catch the letters Toobin for a special bonus. All right, let's give it a spin. I know there are multiple rivers that you can go down, but I've only ever managed on the first level. Forgot to get the treasure back there. I played this on my friend's NES once long ago, if I'm recalling correctly. Ah, crap. So yeah, it's pretty much a racing game, a rival racing game. Now, as Dennis told me when we were discussing this, the game originally started off as a kayaking simulator. And I think he was saying they were using the yoke controls that were used on Hydra. Funny enough, Dennis, right after developing this, he developed Hydra. So, really into water-based stuff. But he also worked on Primal Rage. So it wasn't all about water. Well, not just Primal Rage, but also Return of the Jedi by Atari Games. You can never hit those going at perfectly into the 1000s. But you can use your cans to get rid of obstacles in the way. But for this, he also said that he was on the controls. He was influenced by Track and Field by Konami. Hey, I finally made it to another river. First time I've ever gotten this far. Hey, 2000, woo! Uh-oh, gators. Yeah, this is such a unique and innovative game. You don't see anything quite like this anymore. Although, I guess, to be fair, Sega just released a game called Crazy Rafting. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on it, really. So you got plenty of cans, so you can take those out. Ah, crap. Ah, crap again. Get ahead. Ah, crap. Should have used my can. Well, I won't continue. That's Toobin. If you want to play some classic, innovative Atari arcade gaming, definitely recommend stopping by our West Valley location to check it out. But also don't forget this one. We've also got Hydra, which again Dennis also developed. And the Hydra that we have is a prototype, and it's extremely rare. I mean, not just the prototype, but the game itself. It's extremely rare to come across a Hydra in arcades, because they only made 200 of them. They made more Toobins than they made Hydras, but so I mean, this one's still a little bit tough to come across. But yeah, let me know what you think about it, and we'll catch you on the next video.